Hello, everybody. This is my first live video, so I'm a little bit nervous. Hope we are all doing well. I promise to start this series of looking at the summary of books that I intend to study at this time, this lockdown period. So please feel free to ask questions. It's going to be a very interactive section. I wanted to try as much as possible to start writing them down, but it's a lot of work for me to do to write these things down. So just join me along. Hope you are enjoying or making best use of your time at home. So I'm starting with this book called Designing for Behavioral Change. It's a very voluminous book. It has about 340 pages, but I'll do my best to capture most of the important things I'll be reading and I'll be sharing with us. I have another one, Prosperity Paradox. I would start reading this one 2 days time. I hope I would have completed reading this then. I have Great by Choice. This one also talks about how to thrive and prosper in the midst of uncertainty, chaos, and luck. I told us yesterday, the honest truth is, with the challenges we have globally now, a lot of people will start, a lot of things will change, a lot of behavior will change, a lot of lifestyles will change, and then new things need to come up. So I will also be looking at designing your life, and this will talk about how to build a well-lived, joyful life. So starting with the first book, Designing for Behavioral Change. Actually, I got this book recommended to me by one of my proteges, Kola Ojodide. He encouraged me to buy this book, and when I bought it, I was so wowed by it. It's a very fantastic book. It talks about designing for behavior change. This is very, very good for people that are in product service industry, product design, sales, and all of those things. If you are someone that you meet customer, you provide service, this is a very good book that helps you to understand the mind of your customer, because it balances both psychology and then behavioral economics. How do people behave to behavior, to products, to services, and all of that? So I will try my best to keep this within 10 minutes. As I go on, if you have questions you want to ask, please feel free to type in your questions. So based on present realities now, one of the things that people will not easily do again is handshake, reaction to sneezing and cold and coughing and all of those things. People would, because of the corona fear out there. So one of the things I read in this book from the introduction, I would break it down into the chapters, is on the product designing. For instance, there's a portion of this book that talks about someone that designed an alarm that is called CLOCKY. This alarm is so unique such that the alarm jumps off your nightstand. So if you put it by your bedstand and the alarm rings, conventional thing is when an alarm rings, you just switch it off. But this alarm, while it rings, the moment it starts ringing, it starts moving away from you. So the moment it starts moving away, you are forced to stand up. That's a behavioral product. That's a product that meets the behavior of people. The behavioral pattern of most of us is such that an alarm is going on. I want to wake up 6 a.m. I switch off the alarm and I continue my sleep. But the moment it's 6 a.m., the alarm starts moving away from where you can get close to it, moving further away until you are really, really awake. So that means that process will make you stand up to be able to switch off the alarm. Somebody came up with that idea. It's a fantastic idea. It's called CLOCKY. And then there's another product that was talked about here that has been designed to change people's life, which I'm hoping that by the time we finish this book, every one of us will be able to come up with an idea or a product that can change the life of the users and also at the same time be a plus for the designer. So I look at Glow Cap. Glow Cap is a cap that you're going to wear on your head, which is mostly the elderly or people that can easily forget things. It reminds them of when they have to take their medication, automatically orders a new set of medication for them. Now, this is a product that was designed because somebody saw that a lot of people forget running out of medication. They even forget when to take their medication. So this product was designed by somebody to make sure that the product meets the behavior and the pattern of people. So this book is going to be looking at how to make sure that you are balancing or you are providing a product or designing a product that will meet behavioral pattern of people. And people's behavior changes over time. It's so sporadic that the next century now, the next decade, their behavior will be different from the ones we have now. So that's why for someone that is providing a service, you must be able to change and then transform these things. I also look at another application that is very, very common now that the author talked about. It's called Nest. Nest is an application that when you find it in most houses now. You can use it on your phone. You can turn on your AC, your light with it. Why? Because people are beginning to see the reason why they should not just waste electricity. Why they should switch off the electricity from anywhere. You forget to switch on your light, switch off your AC anywhere. You can do that on your phone. So this is also a product that is meeting the demand, the behavior of people. So I would permit me, I'm rushing because this book is voluminous. I can see all the comments, but I want to make sure that I make good use of these 10 minutes to be able to summarize a larger portion of this book. So there's 3 essential elements of designing for change. So for you that you are a seller, you are a marketer, you are a product designer, you are a CEO, you own your own business, you must first of all understand that what is the right target behavior your product wants to meet. What is the behavior that this product I'm trying to design to sell, this service I'm trying to sell, what is the product is going to meet? The second one is target the behaviors that are easy to do. So let me give us an example. If you are someone that when you sleep, there's a particular part of the bed you wake up on. When you wake up, the first thing you like to do, those are like habits already. They are almost like things that you do effortlessly. And then, so those behaviors, if I want to design a product, I should be able to design a product that my consumers will easily flow into, that they can easily make use of. So the other thing, essential element for designing for change is ensure that as you design for people's character, behavior, habit change, you must have an action to trigger them to actually change, or prompting to prompt that behavior. So as a behavior designer, in this new generation we are going to go into now, the generation after this corona, a lot of new habits will be formed, a lot of new behaviors will be formed. So as a behavior designer also, don't let me just use a designer in the world, or maybe you think you have to write programs. Somebody that is designing a service, a product to meet a particular behavior of a group of people. So let me use that simple definition. So somebody that is helping people do what they already want to do. So for me now, I want to live a healthy life. I want to eat well. I want to exercise well. One of the products out there that can help me to do that is Fitbit. So if Fitbit is an exercise device that I can use. It tells me when I'm sitting for too long, I need to exercise. I can log in the food I'm taking to be able to monitor my calorie. I can use it to monitor if somebody is diabetic and he wants to monitor his diabetes. Someone has a cardiac issue. So this is a product that is designed to the behavior that people really want to do. So also I want to be someone that I want to be able to save money. There's several products out there that will be like, okay, I want to save money and I don't know how to save it. So a bank, a financial institution can come up with a product or a design that will be able to help them to save money in little bits, and then at the end of the day achieve that purpose of saving that money. So the behavior designer is someone that is helping people do what they want to do in a much more easy and convenient or comfortable way. So in other words, you are helping people become a better version of themselves. That is what this writer is saying in designing for behavioral change. I need to take that break. I'm rushing seriously. I can see all the comments. Thank you, everybody. Just keep watching, and then that thank you. I also want you to get the book and then see how you can have your own copy and read it. It's not my book. I'm only just reading it for my own self and for as many of those that are listening to this too. So in other words, you're helping people become a better version of themselves. So there's a company that came up with a product recently, and they called it Rent and Own. Rent and Own, they design it such that they know that people really want to own houses. So people want to own houses. How do they get it? How do they get that fund? How do they gather the money? So they said, okay, instead of you renting a house, the house will hand it over to you. Pay your rent to the house. Period of time you can own the house. The company is Efficacy Construction Company for marketing's sake. Design for behavioral change has 4 stages. So understanding the mind. So I want to design for a group of people now, let's say students, and then my market is students, or let me use something more practical. I'm a interior decorator. As an interior decorator, I want to design, I want to be able to get more people on my side to do designs for them, decorate their place for them. I need to be mindful of what is in the mind of the people I want to decorate for. So as a oral designer, designing a product for customers, you must first of all understand their mind. What are their choices of color? What is their budget? What are they thinking? How do they want it? What are the things that they will be expecting of you? Discover the right behavior that your people want. Design the initial product. Refine the process. A lot of change in the way we do things that would come after this coronavirus pandemic. By the grace of God, we'll all be alive by the grace of God in Jesus' name. So that coronavirus incidents now has changed a lot of things. If you go to a pharmacy now, boxes are labeled for people to come. To a bus stop, you see that the bus stops, people are aligned, assembled to follow a straight line with distance, no rushing to enter the bus. That is a behavioral change. So as an individual, if I'm to go like the supermarket and everywhere was clustered, there was a long queue and there was boxes to be in the box, wait for your time. A total number of people can be in the supermarket at a time. It is more than 20. They don't let them come in. So if one neighbor doesn't, if the next person doesn't come, nobody goes in. In this case now, for me, I saw an opportunity there when I was reading this book. I look at it now. That means people would really be tired going to the supermarket to stay on the queue outside for how long? So home delivery service would be a very good thing for anybody that wants to do that business. So use of portable shopping carts will also be a good one, because I don't want to be using other people's cart that I have to be cleaning and wiping my hands all the time. And above all, for someone that is smart, also that is in IT, it's fantastic at this time to have an app that is buying and pick it, that you can buy a good in a supermarket and just go there and pick it up. So instead of me going there, go to the shelf, wasting my time, I just buy everything and I go to the pickup section and I pick it up. That would be another thing that will change as the world starts coming out of this corona, because you want to avoid clustered gathering of people. That's also a way to design for behavioral change. So understanding the mind. I come to another section of the book that talks about understanding the mind and behavioral change. So if you look at a couple of doctors now, if you address a doctor and you tell them that if you do a surgical treatment for cancer, 64%, 66% of the patients will die. Will they want to do it? No. But understanding the mind, if you change the question and tell them if you do this thing, 34% of your patients will survive, they will rather be much more excited to seeing 34% survive than hearing that 66% will die. So product designing, product selling is psychological. So I'm looking at questions here. Let me take a break and talk about, if anybody has a question before I go on. How many minutes have I spent now? Okay, so while we are doing that, while I'm waiting for questions, there are examples that we need to understand. And understanding the mind, what I said that behavioral designing has to do a lot with psychology. So psychology of the people you want to sell to, what are their thinking, what are their previous experiences. People's experiences determines how they judge a product even before getting to them. They determine how they see a product, their perception about the product, what they think about the product. Their mind preempts or decides the response they want to give you on that particular product. So making sense of the mind. The writer said something here. He said there's something that is called ambiguity effect. So he said we are intuitively uncomfortable with actions in which the potential effects have unknown probabilities. So for someone that wants to design a product or market a product, it's very much more easy for you to go in with already familiar method or familiar route to tell people about your product. They can easily take it as maybe they've done something and it didn't go well, using attention bias, or they'll be much more open to listen to you. He's talked about another thing which was about availability cascade. Be watchful and mindful of this. He said incorrect and correct ideas can become increasingly believed and widespread because of a repetition by well-meaning people who don't want to appear wrong. So take for instance, I used to complain that at a point you may not like a particular product, but the more they keep playing that product on radio, on TV, you start accepting the product, and unconsciously you start believing in the product, and before you know it, you will use the product. A friend of mine was posting about a musician yesterday on Facebook and said he's surprised that for the first time he was playing this person's music. Why? Maybe because he's been hearing it over and over time. So as as a business person, as a salesperson, one of the things we need to do is to continue to showcase our product to people who want it. So the more people see what you sell, the more they may not buy it at the first time, but the more they are aware about it, the more they begin to accept it. That's what the writer is saying. He said most of the time we are not actually choosing what to do. I'm reading now from the book. He said most of our daily behavior is governed by our intuitive mode. We are acting on habits. Our conscious mind usually only become engaged when we are in a novel situation, when we intentionally direct our attention to a task. So it's possible in most cases that as we take a decision, as we want to design, the same way our customers, when they want to take a decision, they'll be much more focused on the things, the behaviors that they are used to, their mode of acceptance, the things they've accepted before now, and then the products they've used, they've tested. So if you design a product to appeal to someone's conscious, rational thinking process, you might educate the rational mind, but not to actually affect behavior. Be very clear about the type of behavior you are trying to encourage, a conscious choice or an intuitive response. I don't want to take us into the boring part or theory. So what the writer is also saying here is that as we go into a new phase of life, a new lifestyle will change after these current ways. People will start addressing things in different ways. We would at that point in time need to start changing the way we things, changing the way we sell, changing the way we address potential clients. For now, I'll let the video stop now. If you have any questions, then I can go to the second part. Maybe in the next 4 hours. By 4 o'clock I should have read a much more portion of that, and I can catch my breath. So if you have questions, feel free to post them on this videos area even after I finish the video, and I'll be able to answer them. Again, we are looking at designing for behavioral change. Is a book that talks about applying psychology and behavioral economics to your business, to what you do. It's written by Stephen Wendel. I hope we'll be able to finish this book in 2 days. If we continue at this pace, by the time I come back again, I will go to why we take certain actions and not others as behavioral designers, as business owners, and then what we need to do. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you being here. Thank you.